Classic Plus has been a popular topic among the classic WoW community for quite some time now, and the idea sounds pretty simple. You take the original version of the game, add some additional content, fix some of the things that didn't really work, while still maintaining the vibe and spirit of the original game. But if you look at recent community surveys, something interesting becomes obvious. Players don't actually agree on what Classic Plus should be. Some players want almost no changes at all. Others are asking for systems like Mythic Plus.
Brother,
So I started wondering, can a project like Classic Plus even work? Or do our current game models exist for a reason? To get a better idea, I decided to try one of the most ambitious Classic Plus projects currently out there. Turtle WoW. One thing that becomes obvious pretty quickly is that there are actually a lot of areas in Warcraft that could be expanded without breaking the law. For example, Code of Gilneas from Cataclysm, but this time around not just specifically for war. A continuation of the Dragonmaw quests in Wetlands, which is called Grim Reaches, or even places like Northwind right above Stormwind. Even smaller changes, like additional roads in the Barrens, can make traveling between zones a lot smoother. And honestly, these kinds of additions feel surprisingly natural. Quests. Classic sometimes has these awkward leveling gaps, where you either have to grind mobs or travel back and forth between zones. Adding more quests fills those gaps pretty nicely and makes leveling feel a bit smoother, without really breaking immersion. Some of the new quest lines even have unique rewards, like the Horde Defender Axe, which can actually compete with dungeon items. There are new quests for different classes as well. Shamans, for example, get a class quest at 40, granting a new ability, and Orc Shamans specifically get Feral Spirit. This way you end up with more interesting options while leveling. Classes are another area that receives attention. In original Classic, optimized raid compositions often end up with like 69% warriors. Honestly, I haven't tried raiding yet, but every class seems to have received at least some changes. Stronger classes like warriors weren't changed as much, while weaker specs definitely got some help. While leveling, the classes that I played definitely felt more complete, but still very much classic. You still sit down to eat as a warrior, you still drink as a paladin or shaman. Even in dungeons you start seeing things like red paladins or tank shamans actually being viable. Most of this comes from talent tree adjustments and some additional abilities. Overall, the classes feel more fleshed out, but not quite yet modern. Dungeons and loot also receive small updates. Many existing dungeons receive small additions, one or two bosses sometimes. Zul'Farrak, for example, has an arena encounter, as well as a new catacomb section. There are also completely new dungeons, like Dragonmaw Retreat, which definitely wasn't inspired by Moria. And of course, new gear to go along with them. There are definitely more pieces with decent stats in earlier dungeons. This creates a nice situation where you can either level mostly through quests or through dungeons, or even combine both. You get more choices. You can farm gear to get stronger for leveling, or simply power through. Professions also received some updates. Although I'm not really into professions myself, there are still some interesting additions. Jewel crafting, for example, allows you to craft rings and trinkets. And there's also a survival profession, where players can create tents that increase rested experience. Which, by the way, is a very strong addition to the open world. Players gather around these tents, refill their rested XP, and just hang around for a bit. Mostly AFK, but still I guess. Let's talk about what works. Honestly, most of what I tried actually works surprisingly well for a Classic Plus concept. But I think there's one very important rule. Classic Plus needs changes that feel like they belong in Classic. And for me, that's the most important part to get right. Most of the custom content here didn't feel foreign. It felt like something that could have existed in the original version of World of Warcraft. And that feeling is incredibly important. In comparison, the beginning of Season of Discovery actually captured that feeling quite well. Things like runes were new and expanded the gameplay without modernizing it too much. But in my opinion, mechanics like nightmare incursions felt too much like retail already. Besides Sod, from Blizzard's official expansions, the closest thing we ever got to Classic Plus might actually be the Burning Crusade. But because the level cap moves to 70, the original world becomes mostly irrelevant. Josh Strife puts it really well. Instead of expanding Azeroth, the game basically condenses. So, can Classic Plus actually work? Personally, I think it can, but only under one condition. There have to be changes, but those changes have to feel like they belong in Classic. If you want absolutely no changes, then the original Classic experience already exists. They need to expand the world, not replace it. But that's just my opinion, so I'm curious what you think. What would you like to see in an official Classic Plus release? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you're interested in the community survey that I mentioned earlier, check out the pinned comment. And with that,